Okay, so in this one, I'd like to inspire you a little bit on how to use your existing scenarios if you already have them in Make or maybe Zapier, and create an alternate version of those scenarios so that you can run them directly from Alice. Even if you don't have scenarios like this, I think it will be pretty useful for you as well. But I'm going to show you that on a ready-made example. And this is the example of a scenario that runs for me every day. So every day at 10 a.m., this scenario is checking for some new contracts to generate in my Airtable database. And this is pretty simple database. It has like information about the representative and some company details, stuff like that. Basically everything that I need in order to prepare the contract. And how can I prepare the contract? Well, I can use, for example, signatures.io. It's a really great service that will let you create templates. And here is one template of one of my agreements. And in this template, you have these placeholders. Here you have the date, here you have the company details, here you have the representative, and everything will be filled in with the automation. So this automation is basically taking this data and is pre-filling this contract with the data that I have in Airtable. It's creating a contract and then changing the status of this contract in Airtable. So the very same thing can be done with Alice. And what I want to do now is basically just duplicate this scenario. So I'm just going to go ahead and select clone the scenario. I'm going to make a scenario for Alice, and that's going to be Alice agreement. And let me save it. Now I'm going to get rid of Airtable modules. I don't need those modules anymore. I'm going to delete this one, delete that one. Sorry, not the node, but delete. And I'm going to add a webhook at the beginning here because I need to get the data from Alice via webhook. I'm going to make custom webhook, and let's copy that name. Also, let's create a webhook that's the same name basically as this one. And let's copy this address to the clipboard. I'm going to go to Alice, snippets, and create a new snippet. Let's give it a name, and that would be agreement or agreements in category business. I'm going to select GPT-4. Sorry, this one. Yep. And then maybe change the icon to robot. And this is the most important thing. So now we have to map all the fields that we have here. We need to fill in all the data of date, the company details, the representative email, and stuff like this. But everything is here in Airtable. So what I can do is I can click on this little arrow next to the view, and I can just download the CSV. Once I do it, I can go here, and there is like some sample prompt for a snippet. I'm going to just get rid of most of it inside of the JSON, and I'm going to change this. But I want to use the data that I have in my CSV file. So I'm going to click on the columns here. So we have tenant company details, and I'm going to put them here. And then we're going to say that this is the details of the company, including address, stuff like this. So I'm going to just copy and paste those, representative, address, and give the instruction to the model what kind of details I'm expecting here. And this is the ready-made prompt so that we don't have to type it in and waste your time. So you can see that there we have company details, get all company registration data, including address, taxes, stuff like this. Get representative name and surname, address, email, phone. Make sure the date is in the correct format. And also, this is interesting. If you are missing any information, please ask the user to provide them. So it means that I'm not going to fill them in with like just an empty strings for the JSON. What I'm going to do is if I'm missing something like an email address, I don't want to proceed. I don't want to ask for this information first and then proceed. Sometimes it works. But I feel that it will work more often when the model gets better at this as well. So let me paste this main prompt here. And I need JSON mode, I need a remote action, and I need webhook URL, which I copied to my clipboard. Let's make sure that I'm going to copy the correct one. Once again, just go ahead and save it. I also need to make sure that Amy can use this webhook and the snippet and save the assistant. And that's all done. So I'm going to go to agreement, so / agreement, and now create an agreement. Let me give this data, and maybe I'm going to just copy this data from Airtable, That's going to be representative. And I'm going to take Natalia, take her address. And obviously this data can be a bit more cluttered, and Alice should make sense of it. So also I have the phone number here. Let's see what happens if the phone number is missing, because there's something that's missing, right? So she should ask us. We'll see if it works. Now this we don't really need, and in order to run it, I just have to temporarily click on this dots and unlink it. Just for now, I'm going to link it again in a second, but I need to just get this data and see how they look, how it actually looks when I receive them via webhook. So I'm going to send it to Amy and waiting for the response. I'm not going to get the response, by the way, because obviously I don't have the module with the response that we have to add later on, but some data has been sent. And here we have the tenant company details. Okay, this structure is quite interesting. And then also the tenant representative, email, and stuff like this. So the best way to handle that, it's pretty cool because it knows like the specifics of the company, but we want to make it one string, so that, for example, what we can do is take this and we can go to snippet and search for this agreement snippet. And we're going to add an instruction here. I'm going to paste it here. The tenant company details should follow this format. Okay, and now it will probably try to do it right. I'm going to save it, create this. I'm going to copy, new conversation, and now agreement once again. Let's paste it in. Let's run it once again, and let's see what happens now. We should get a bit better structure. Obviously, we can take this data and glue them all together in this signatures model. But basically, if I get them correct from the prompt itself, I think it's much better. Also, some data was sent, though he didn't ask me about the tenant representative phone number, because Alice knows my phone number and she put it here. So sometimes, as I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyways, this looks pretty good, pretty well formatted. So we can connect the dots and we can make sure we have the correct date here, the company details. We exchange all the information. There is email address? No, this one. Then we have the address. Then we have the representative once again, and the email once again, and phone number. Yep, this is incorrect, but well, we can't have everything for now. The only one thing we are missing here is another module that would be a webhook response. So let's create webhook response, and inside we're going to put data, and now we're going to say contract created. And maybe also let's provide the contract ID in the response. Let's make sure we end the quotes, save it, run it. And now with the new conversation, I'm going to search for agreements once again. And let's have this create agreement. We'll see what happens now. And also I don't have this representative phone number in here. So let's see what she's going to do. Okay, we have the error. And once we have the error, then you'll see that she tries to debug. So Alice gives you everything that, like the JSON that has been formatted. And here we can see that please provide the representative's phone number. Okay, that's it. That's better. And in the actual scenario, we have an error that says that invalid mobile number. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's pretty great. So we can iterate on that. We can just copy and paste that once again, but then we're going to give it a, okay. Now let's run it once again and see if it should recognize it as a phone number. Yep, now we have contract that's created. We have the proper number of the contract. We have the bundle here. And in e-signatures, if we go there, we in fact have this contract that has been created. We can view this contract here and everything is filled. So the data we have here, we also have the representative data. So yeah, it's all good. And this is how we created like an alternative scenario that we already had, but the one that can be run by Alice. So it's pretty cool idea. And most of the scenarios that I had, I tried to recreate this way. Of course, you can have a bit better prompts for that. So, for example, you can have this structure. You can have another scenario, for example, where you'll use a module that's called Clearbit to enrich the data. Here you have a get a company. If you want to get these details, you could provide only the name of the company and then have a scenario, have a probably like a different snippet to search for a company details with Clearbit, and it will return the company details. Then send another one with formatted data to create a contract. So you can have as many scenarios and snippets as you want. What I encourage you to do is just not create very complicated scenarios for now. Just create simple ones that you have 3 dots or maybe 5 dots tops, so that you can easily debug them, you can easily see what's going on. But this is a really cool way to recreate a scenario like this and to give Alice a bit more neglected, a bit more cluttered data, and the model can handle that and create really cool JSON that will trigger this scenario. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in and see you in the next one.